Welcome to the I14 Sports Report, heard right here every Thursday night on KNCTF and Public Radio, listener-supported public radio for Central Texas. You can also catch it online, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. Also myknct.com, but you can go to I14 Sports, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and find out what's going on in the area sports-wise as we keep an eye on everything pretty close. In fact, Wednesday night we had our show at Raising Cane's. Thanks to Jeff and the crew at Raising Cane's in Harker Heights. We had a special guest, Athletic Director for Killeen Independent School District, Mr. Micah Wells, and we had a little discussion about redistricting that is going to be taking place next year and the possibility of more inter-KISD squad play.
You got UIL coming up. This is a redistricting year. They redistrict every year in an even year. And so
that's what people really want to know about.
Yeah, we just don't have any info yet. So just to let everybody, the UIL did release, and it's available on their website. You can go see what numbers everybody turned in. The official numbers that they turned in from our October snapshot. That's the enrollment number that they use to determine what district we go in. But I think just as important as that is what region do you play? So what district do you go into, and then what region they put us into dictates who we play in the first round of the playoffs. So like we were talking about earlier, you get to go play Duncanville or DeSoto or Aledo in the first round of the football playoffs. Well, if you get into another region, you get matched up with a different region. You have a different path through the playoffs, and so that's extremely important as well. So the numbers were released. The UIL has told us that maybe as early as Friday, we may know what they have determined to be the cutoff points for 6A, 5A, 4A, 3A. And so we would know, based on what we turned in, what division we're going into. We won't know what district we're in. We won't know what region we're in. We won't know who we're going to match up with and who we're going to play. But at least we'll know what schools are going to be in 6A, what schools are going to be in 5A, 5A D1, 5A D2 in football. We'll know that information maybe Friday or first part of next week.
Wow.
We won't know what districts and regions we're in until end of January, first part of February, when we get that realignment day. And that's a hot and heavy day. Everybody's excited.
So the UIL just sits over the holidays, sits around with their eggnog and figures out who's going to play where and there.
I don't want any part of it. Watching those guys. No. I don't want the work that they have to do to if you think about every high school program from 6-man football 1A all the way up through 6A, every school, every program, every school having to be put into a district, put into a region, keeping in mind that you don't want kids, teams traveling 2-3 hours to go play a district ball game on a Friday night. Your communities can't make that travel, so they're trying to work that out to keep things equal and fair. And so I've tried to kind of figure it out before, and
it hurts your head.
It just gives you a headache after, and so I've given up on that. I just wait until they tell us where we're going, and then we'll go from there.
One thing I'd like to see maybe is we could have like maybe if it's in the preseason games or something like that, go back to getting the KISD Cup going again.
So
where we can have
we talked a little bit about that.
Everybody.
The hard thing is that when you have everybody in the same district like we did back then,
right? It was easy.
Then it's much more fair. It's much more level. When you're playing in multiple districts, and you're not playing the same competition, or you're not playing head to head, then it makes it very difficult to do that. So, do we want to do something like that? I think we're going to explore it. But we're going to have to see. Again, we're going to have to see once redistricting come out.
I will help sponsor that and make it the I14 Sports Cup.
Hey, sponsor means
I'll get some sponsors for you.
Yeah. We'll see.
Even if it's a preseason flag tournament.
Hey, something
that would be fun too.
Because back when we did that, there was a level of pride amongst KISD and be able to say you're city champs and things like that.
Yeah, a little trophy was floating around for a while.
There's some bragging rights there, and we definitely want to bring that excitement back to the community.
Even when it was just the Elliston Killeen Cup that we were passing back and forth.
But you and I were talking earlier, there's if they put us all in the same district, wouldn't that be great? Because we're all there, we're all competing. But if you look at the last 2 years that we've been in these other districts and not been paired up together, it has allowed our teams to really get out there and be successful on their own right, and not at the expense of one of our other schools. And so, Harker Heights making great runs in basketball and softball and football. They didn't have to do that at the expense of the other teams in our district, and they were able to do that. And our other programs were able to have success as well. And so, last year you had both Ellison boys basketball and Harker Heights boys basketball, obviously making great runs. Well, they didn't. If they had both been in 6A or both been in 5A, they would have met up about 2 weeks earlier, and one would knock the other out. So you have that opportunity for more programs to be successful and go do their thing. So I kind of like it. It's a little more confusing.
Yeah.
Who we playing and who's what's district and who's the champion and that kind of thing. But and it makes it extremely busy on our part because we are going 90 different directions as a department, but it's exciting as well. And I want to see, ultimately, at the end of this, I want to see our kids doing well, having success, and bringing home that hardware that that they can be proud of.
And thank you, Micah, for coming on the show and explaining all that to us. We really do appreciate it a whole bunch, buddy. That it's going to be interesting, I'll tell you that. Texas High School Coach Association Academic All-State football players from Killeen High were recognized: Max Wadaki, Dylan Green, Roderick Norman, Marvin Gamble III, Antonio Says, Jay-Sean Payton, Delicia Beanie, Desiree Gomez, and Maria Yasin. At Ellison, Brendan Corbett, Yosogi Ale, Jordan Jews. Over at Chaparral, it was Joshua Newsom, Sam Wells, Joshua Garcia, and Caleb Gunner. And Harker Heights had Jaden Fletcher finish in that All-State. Tuesday's girls basketball scores: Ellison defeating Copperas Cove 34-25. It was Harker Heights 30 and Class 5A number 22, Cedar Park 29. In boys basketball, looking at the local kids, the Chaparral lost to Manor New Tech 87-78, and also Killeen lost in overtime to Hendrickson, double overtime in fact, 69-61. Thanks for listening to the show. We appreciate it. We appreciate Micah Wells for explaining everything about the redistricting that's going to be taking place. And, of course, Lee, for tuning in. We appreciate you all a whole bunch for supporting I14 Sports and supporting KNCT-FM. It's very important you do so, all right? You all have a great week. And, as always, take care of each other and take care of yourselves.
You are watching I14 Sports Network.